right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting bodybuilding stories for you guys today. Let's start out with some more 2020 Arnold Classic news. Now, there has been another name apparently added to the competitor list for the 2020 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, and that name evidently is Nathan DeAsha. So I want to thank my buddy Roger Lockridge, who is a writer for barbend.com. He's the one that actually sent me this story. Now, we talked about in past news videos that there had been some rumors that Nathan DeAsha might be in the 2020 Arnold Classic. As of yesterday, and I think as of still today, his name is not on the official list on the website for the Arnold Classic competitor lineup. But in this article on barbend.com, again written by Roger Lockridge, it says that Brent Lalonde of the Arnold Sports Festival reported the news directly to Barbend that Nathan will be a part of the 2020 Arnold Classic. And as you can see in the headline of this article, Nathan DeAsha now in the 2020 Arnold Classic, replacing Rolly Winkler. Now, I'm sure most of us know that recently, over the past year, Nathan has had some legal issues over there in the UK. And I was told that as far as Nathan's eligibility for the Arnold Classic, he was ironing some details out as it related to those before he was able to compete. But it appears that Nathan is officially in the 2020 lineup, and I wanted to update my previous statement. I just checked on the 2020 Arnold Sports Festival website, and their official competitor list on the website, Nathan DeAsha's name has been added to the official list, along with Morgan Asti, who we talked about yesterday in yesterday's news video. So that is the official 2020 Arnold Classic lineup. This lineup that you're looking at right now is the new and improved. You can make the argument this is a better list than it was before. 2020 Arnold Classic lineup. I look forward to seeing you guys there. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Arnold Classic towards the end of this video. But in the meantime, I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. The title topic, probably the reason why a lot of you guys clicked, and that is Phil Heath. Now, we've been talking about Phil Heath a little bit more than usual over the past couple of weeks as certain things have been developing, and maybe the possibility of him doing the Olympia, the possibility of him doing the Rocks show in October of 2020, Athleticon. So let me share with you guys a little bit more information about the possibility of what Phil Heath is going to do in 2020. So first off, I want to get to something we talked about in the last news video. On one of Phil's recent physique update photos, he had the hashtag Breaking Olympia Film. Now, at the time that I made that video, nobody really knew what this Breaking Olympia Film was all about. There are no details. You Google it, nothing comes up. It's kind of hard to know what's going on with this Breaking Olympia Film, but I did hear from an anonymous source a couple of details about this Breaking Olympia Film. Number one, I can confirm, thankfully, it is not a Generation Iron project. It is not a Generation Iron film. Kind of happy about that. Not another stinker. But I can also confirm that this source told me that this film is being produced in conjunction with $7 Productions. And if you guys don't know, $7 Productions is The Rock's film company. Now, to be a little bit more specific, $7 Productions is owned by both The Rock and his ex-wife, Dany Garcia. If that sounds familiar, that's because Athleticon is being produced and promoted by both The Rock and his ex-wife, Dany Garcia. So in that last video where I mentioned this Breaking Olympia hashtag, I said, could this be the possibility that Phil is talking about in this documentary not competing at the Olympia? And it could talk about how he's preparing for a different show and coming back to a brand new title, such as Athleticon 2020. Now, the fact that this is being produced by $7 Productions, again, this is something I heard from an anonymous source. I can't say 100% that it's true. I think makes the possibility even greater that if Phil is collaborating with The Rock's company on a film like this, that he could possibly be collaborating with The Rock on his next competition in 2020. We do know that Phil said he is not retired. He is not done competing yet. But we do know that he is unsure about the Olympia. So now we know Phil is friends with The Rock. He's done recent photo shoots with The Rock. Apparently, his film is being produced by The Rock's movie company. Phil Heath has recently said he's not retired. And the next big show that's not the Olympia that Phil could do is The Rock show. So again, my prediction here is that we're going to see Phil Heath compete in Athleticon 2020. I've said this multiple times over the past couple months. I think we're going to see it happen. That will be the comeback of Phil Heath at the 2020 Athleticon. Now, furthermore, Phil Heath has recently gone on his Instagram Live to discuss the possibility of him returning to the Olympia stage, where he basically talks about his feelings on returning to the Olympia specifically. Now, we know Phil said he's not retired, but we don't know what show he's going to do next, and everybody's wondering if he's going to do the 2020 Olympia. Well, here's the video on what Phil Heath's statements were about his 2020 career.
This is now week 2, hitting some consistent cardio, and I must say that my body is feeling really good, especially be able to jog again. Last couple of years was really difficult to even breathe, let alone run. So yeah, everything is feeling really healthy. So, you know, I hope you guys are feeling healthy as well. I know a lot of people were asking me about like the Olympia and other stuff like that. Just have to wait and see, guys. I haven't really made any decisions or anything. I know a lot of people are gonna screenshot this or video record it and send it to their friends, but my focus right now is to create as much balance as I can in my life and to ensure that I'm having fun in the gym. If I'm having fun in the gym, the body's gonna look a certain way, and if the body looks a certain way, then who knows what'll happen. But right now I'm just enjoying this time and being able to do what God gave me talents to do, which is to put on muscle and to burn a lot of fat and to live a healthy life. Now I'd say a lot more at peace with everything that's going on, even through the adversity. And that was something that, you know, I was always challenged with, you know, training, being able to put on muscle, to be able to win shows. That's one thing. To be able to balance life is a whole nother thing. I want you guys to be successful. I want you guys to be fearless. I want you guys to fail and to rise, because that is what this is about. That's what life is about. You get knocked down and you rise.
His 2020 career. I think this was actually a very powerful clip, and the main thing that I took away was one of the last things that Phil Heath said in this video. And one of the last things that he said was that he wants to see you fail and get back up. Now, what could Phil specifically be drawing a parallel to in his own life other than losing the 2018 Mr. Olympia? Phil won 7 in a row, and then when it came to number 8, he failed. That was Phil's failure. And Phil is talking about in this video rising again. So to me, that's redemption. That's Phil Heath's redemption arc. Phil Heath is going to come back. That's what I'm taking away from that video. But he doesn't know if he wants to make that comeback at the Olympia, or in my opinion, save that comeback for 2020 Athleticon. I mean, come on. You know he feels like he was screwed at the 2018 Mr. Olympia. He didn't think he should have lost just based on the midsection. He was unhappy with the decision. His girl was unhappy with the decision. There's a lot of reasons why I could see Phil not wanting to come back to the Olympia and skipping the Olympia to do the Rock show. But on the other hand, I think the Olympia might be a possibility because right now there's no clear dominant champion. Brandon Curry is a great Mr. Olympia. But let's be honest, I don't see Brandon Curry winning for the next 7 years like Phil did. The man that beat Phil, Sean Roden, likely will not be in the 2020 Mr. Olympia. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't think that Sean's issues will be resolved by the 2020 Mr. Olympia in time for him to prep for the Olympia if they are resolved prior. It's another pro to doing the Olympia. The man that beat him won't be there. Another pro is that Phil has won 7. And if he competes at the Olympia again, that will be 8. He will be going for his 8th title, which is the record, which would make him one of, if not the greatest bodybuilders of all time, tying with Ronnie Coleman and, of course, Lee Haney, and then beating the record of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who also won 7. There's tremendous legacy incentive to doing the Olympia. But on the other hand, Phil is still a young guy. There's still the possibility that Phil could make his big comeback at Athleticon, skip the 2020 Olympia, and still do the 2021 Mr. Olympia. But that's looking way into the future. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the Phil Heath situation. Do you think Phil will come back at all? Which I think he will because he said he's not retired. And if he does come back, what show do you think it will be? The Olympia, Athleticon, or something else? Now, next up in the news, Larry Wheels' friend and training partner known as Andrew Jacked on Instagram, who, by the way, has been getting a ton of popularity and attention. I get a lot of messages about this guy, has posted a training video, shirtless of course, looking phenomenal. Now, one of the reasons why I'm talking about Andrew Jacked, even though he's never competed before, is because he's planning on making his competitive debut here soon, actually in Ohio. So he's planning on trying to get his pro card, I believe, is the main goal. And I think the thing that appeals to a lot of people about Andrew Jacked is the fact that he has such an insanely well-developed physique, the fact that he's super lean and super big, but he's never competed, which I think blows a lot of people's minds. However, I will say one thing. You see a lot of upper body shots of Andrew Jacked, and I can't remember ever seeing a shot of his legs. So that will be the main tail of the tape, I guess you could say, is when we see him on stage and see what his legs look like compared to his upper body. But in any case, I wish Andrew the best of luck with his competitive debut. I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to report on it. Now moving on into the next story, a strongman story yet again. In the last news video, we talked about Brian Shaw not being listed on the Arnold Classic 2020 Strongman Competitors list for the first time in a very long time. Brian Shaw evidently has not qualified. The Santa Monica competition, which was this weekend, was the last opportunity to qualify for the Arnold Strongman Classic, and Brian Shaw did not qualify there. Now, in Brian Shaw's recap video about the Santa Monica Pro Strongman competition, there's a brief scene towards the end of the video where he's talking with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it appears that Arnold says something to the effect of "See you in Columbus." And this is what I mentioned in the last video. A lot of the Arnold Classic is invitation only. Like the bodybuilding categories, the classic physique category, stuff of that nature. They invite people who they want to compete. So I think there is the possibility that you could see Brian Shaw compete in the Strongman Classic without officially qualifying by receiving a special invitation from Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it is a possibility that we may see Brian Shaw still compete in Columbus, but that Santa Monica competition was the final opportunity to qualify officially. Now, a couple other points I wanted to remind you guys about. Number one, the 2020 Arnold Classic will be the first ever Arnold Classic that I will have my own booth. So I want to make sure that you guys know that I'm going to have a booth there. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys. We're about 7 weeks away from the 2020 Arnold Classic. So make sure you get your tickets. There will be a link to where you can buy tickets to the expo and all the other events at the Arnold in Columbus. That will be in the description box below. And I also wanted to remind you guys about the Arnold Amateur. The Arnold Amateur, if you guys aren't aware, you get to compete on the Arnold Classic stage. But it's open to all competitors. It will be affiliated with the NPC, but the Arnold Classic Amateur is open to all competitors. You don't have to qualify. It doesn't matter what federation affiliation you have. No qualifications whatsoever for any division or class. Anybody can do the Arnold Classic Amateur. In 2020, they will be adding the wellness division to the Arnold Classic Amateur. In addition to men's bodybuilding, classic bodybuilding, men's physique, women's physique, fitness figure, master's figure, bikini, master's bikini, and wellness. Those are the categories you can compete in at the Arnold Classic Amateur. And the early registration deadline is quickly approaching, so there will also be a link in the description box below to where you can sign up to compete in the Arnold Classic Amateur. And who knows, that may be something I'm interested in doing one day. And finally, I wanted to thank each and every single one of you guys because today I reached 800,000 subscribers. We are on the road to that 1 million subscriber mile mark. It took me a while to get to 800,000, but we are over 80% of the way to that goal of 1 million subscribers. We will get there, and I want to thank you guys wholeheartedly because this is not my milestone. 800,000 is our milestone. We got there together, and we will get to 1 million together. So if you guys have not subscribed, I would ask you guys to subscribe now and help us get to that goal of 1 million subscribers. As always, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power,